Mitsubishi Pajero 1991 to 2012. Mitsubishi redesigned the Pajeros for a second generation, which debuted in January 1991, although exports did not commence until later in the year. Just about everything was now new and further enhanced. A new, larger body was available in 4 different versions: metal top, canvas top convertible, short wheelbase, semi-high roof wagon and high roof wagon, long wheelbase. The short wheelbase models were stretched by 70 mm, 2.8 in, and the long wheelbase models by 30 mm, 1.2 in. The available engines included a 3.0-liter 12-valve SOC V6, 6G72, with a multi-electronic fuel injection and a 2.5-liter turbocharged diesel engine, 4D56T, with an intercooler. The 4D56T used a top-mounted intercooler with an innovative method of providing airflow. Using 2 hidden scoops at the top of the grille, these guided air through 2 ducts in the bonnet that merged into one above the intercooler. This unique design provided several benefits. Firstly, by keeping the intercooler top-mounted, the piping was kept short, resulting in less boost lag. The top-mounted position also allowed for greater durability since it wasn't prone to damage from rocks and sticks when off-road as front-mounted intercoolers were. Additionally, having a solid bonnet with no traditional intercooler scoop reduced drag and further enhanced durability in dense jungle by preventing branches from trees that brushed across the bonnet from damaging the intercooler fins. While enhancing durability, this method of airflow is less efficient than a standard top-mounted scoop as the air that flowed through these channels was warmed by rising engine heat, reducing the amount of heat the passive airflow could draw from the intercooler's charge air. This design was replaced by a standard top-mounted intercooler scoop in later 4M40 models. The second generation also saw the introduction of Super Select 4WD, SS4, multi-mode ABS and electronic shock absorbers, which were first on Japanese 4-wheel drives. SS4 was groundbreaking in the sense that it combined the advantages of part-time and full-time 4-wheel drive with 4 available options: 2H, high-range rear-wheel drive; 4H, high-range full-time 4-wheel drive; 4HLC, high-range 4-wheel drive with locked center differential; and 4LLC, low-range 4-wheel drive with locked center differential. Another advantage of this second-generation system is that it gave the driver the ability to switch between 2-wheel drive and full-time 4-wheel drive at speeds up to 80 km per hour, 49 miles per hour, whereas the first-generation Pajero, which used a traditional 4WD system, had to be stationary to switch from rear-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive, but not from 4-wheel drive back to rear-wheel drive. In addition to the SS4, an automatic locking differential was included as a factory option. The transfer case is required to be in 4HLC or 4LLC to engage the rear locking differential. Multi-mode ABS, on the other hand, was equally innovative. This meant ABS would be fully functional in all modes of SS4, as braking with a locked center differential requires completely different braking parameters. Additionally, vehicles were fitted with load proportioning valves which use spring-loaded levers on the differential that compressed when payload was increased, subsequently automatically providing more braking force when the vehicle was heavily laden. The new electronic shock absorber was also factory option with 3 settings: S, soft, M, medium, and H, hard. This meant driver can change ride quality and handling depending on road conditions via a switch on center console. In July 1993, 2 new power plants were introduced, a 3.5-liter 24-valve duct with a multi and a 2.8-liter turbocharged diesel with an intercooler. A new, larger transmission and transfer case was also part of the upgrade. In 1996, the 3.0 V6 engine was revised, staying stock but changing to 24 valves. At the same time, the ignition system was upgraded from the old distributor system to solid-state coil packs. Power increased to 132 kilowatts, 177 horsepower. The 2.4 liters engine was introduced as a smaller power plant, available only in the SWB with revised minor interior and exterior. The Pajero Evolution was introduced in October 1997, which was developed specifically in response to new entry requirements for the Paris-Dakar Rally's T3 class, mandating a minimum volume of production vehicles to be produced on which the rally car would be based on. The Pajero Evolution was designed from the ground up as a dedicated rally vehicle. It came standard with a 3.5-liter 24-valve DOC V6 with Mitsubishi Innovative Valve Timing and Electronic Lift Control, MIVIC. A new, dual-plenum variable intake helped increase power, and a new, long-travel independent rear suspension made the ride even smoother. This fully independent suspension design set the underpinnings for what would be implemented in the third-generation Pajero. In 1998, vehicles destined for general export in the GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council countries, received a facelift. Wider fenders, new headlights, grille, bumper, fog lights and side steps were all part of the redesign. The wide fenders are often called blister flare fenders. Driver and front passenger SRS airbags were made standard on models equipped with the 3.5-liter DOC V6 engine, whilst still remaining optional on GLS models with the 3.0-liter SOC V6. 1,080 of these units were also assembled in Iran by Baumann Qatar Group before being taken off production. An upgraded interior wood trim was made available on 3.0-liter GLS and 3.5-liter models. A leather-wrapped or leather and wood trim steering wheel was also made available, alongside an upgraded suspension and steering system. The 3.0-liter 12-valve SOC engine was now available with the 24-valve configuration. Models without wide fenders remained as base models, GLX, available with the 2.4-liter 16-valve DOC engine, producing 110 kilowatts, 147 horsepower. The 3.0-liter 12-valve engine was optional on these GLX models, and remained the base engine on the GLS. The second generation was introduced on January 22, 1991 and manufactured until 1999. It retained the two body styles, but design was rounder and more city-friendly than the previous bulky model. The 3.0 liters V6 petrol engine was retained, now available with the 24-valve head, capable of 136 kilowatts, 185 PS, 182 horsepower, while the 2.5 turbodiesel's power was slightly increased to 73 kilowatts, 99 PS, 98 horsepower. In 1993, the Pajero was slightly restyled, and larger engines were introduced, a 3.5 liters V6 with 153 kilowatts, 208 PS, 205 horsepower, and a 2.8 liters SOC turbodiesel rated at 92 kilowatts, 125 PS, 123 horsepower. These versions introduced Mitsubishi's Super Select four-wheel drive system, known as Active Track in the United States, with an electronic transfer shift that could split power between both axles without the need to stop the car. It worked at speeds up to 100 km per hour, 62 miles per hour. The first generation Pajero was also marketed as the Hyundai Galloper in Korea, Europe and GCC countries, while the second generation was in production elsewhere. This model Pajero remained in production in India till 2012 as the Pajero SFX. The latest generation is sold as the Montero. In the Philippines it is marketed as the Pajero Fieldmaster 4x2 with the 2.8 liters TD engine, alongside the fourth generation Pajero. The 4x4 version was taken out of production in 1999. It is also produced in Colombia from Complete Knockdown Parts, CKD, till 2012, with a 2.4 liters 16-valve SOC, 130 PS, or 3.0 liters 12-valve V6, 148 PS. Both engines are available as a 3-door hardtop, the 5-door wagon only with the 3.0-liter V6. In Venezuela, the second generation was manufactured from 1992 to 1995 under the name of Mitsubishi Montero. It was available in long and short wheelbase. From 1996 to 2009 its name was changed to Mitsubishi Montero Dakar, It was only available in short wheelbase with 6G72 engine and manual 5-speed transmission. In China, the second-generation Pajero remains popular as it was involved in early joint ventures from the 1990s. Companies include Guangtong Motors, Jincheng Motors, Jianhui Motors, Sanjiu Motors, Sanxing Motors, Shanglu Motors and Wanli Motors. Chinese car manufacturer Shanglu Motors made their version of the Pajero known as the CJY6421D and was produced from 1997 to 2001 and came standard with the 4G64 engine. Beijing Automobile Works followed suit and produced their version known as the BJ2032 Tornado from 2002 to 2004. The BJ2032 came standard with a 2.2-liter engine sourced from General Motors paired to a 5-speed manual gearbox. The Tornado is 4,880 mm long, 1,830 mm wide, 1,800 mm high and utilizes a 2,750 mm wheelbase. The most well-known variants of the Pajero sold in China were built by Gachengfeng since 1995. The first known model was produced from 2002 to 2014 and marketed under the name Lai Bao Jinggang, Lipa or Black King Kong, whereas can be translated to cheetah instead of leopard, for the 2002 model year. The Jinggang was available with 4 engines, the 2.2-liter 4RB3 based on the 2RZ Fei engine from Toyota, the popular 2.4-liter 4G64 engine and 6G72 V6 from both Mitsubishi and a 2.5-liter turbo diesel. All engines were paired to a 5-speed manual gearbox. The 4-speed automatic was only available on the 2002 Jinggang with the V6 engine. Throughout its production run, pricing ranged between 109,800 and 302,800 yuan, 15,930 and 43,930 US dollars. The sister model, known as the Kaibing/6481, was produced from 2009 until 2014. The 2.2-liter 4RB3 was the only engine available paired to a 5-speed manual gearbox. 2 models were available priced at 99,800 and 124,800 yuan, 14,480 and 18,100 US dollars. Both models were replaced by a facelifted version called the Leopard Q6 that year and is still in production today. The Q6 used the 4G63 for 2015 and 2017 models paired to a 6-speed manual and automatic gearbox. The 2TZ Fei engine from Toyota was also available alongside it paired to a 5-speed manual gearbox. For 2019 onwards, the Q6 currently uses the 4G64 like its predecessors and uses a 5-speed manual gearbox. 2 colors choices known as Wild Green and Glacier White are available as standard. The second-generation Pajero was discontinued in 1999, with the exceptions mentioned under production, and replaced by a new generation Pajero. After ending production, the second-generation Pajero gained unwanted attention in 2002 when TLC member Left Eye was killed in a car crash involving a second-generation Mitsubishi Pajero, on a highway in La Ceiba, Honduras. She was the only fatality in the crash. A cameraman was filming from the front passenger seat, and his camera was destroyed on impact.